बिहारी। जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोधनन्दन जन यशोधनन्दन भजन धीरा 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 जाना जाना वल्ला यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जन धीरा अनचारिया धीरा अनचारिया Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Nityanadip Chandra Jaya Nityanadip Chandra Jaya Nityanadip Chandra Jaya Nityanadip Chandra Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Jai Gaura Hari Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Swami Founders doing this. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, verse 35 and 36. अपि मे भगवान प्रीता कृष्ण पांडु सुता प्रिया पैत्री स्वासेया प्रीति अर्थम तद्गोत्रस्य ता बांधवा अपि मे भगवान प्रीता कृष्ण पांडु सुता प्रिया पैतृ स्वासेय प्रीतिर्थां तद्गोत्रस्य ता बान्धवा अपि मे भगवान् प्रीता कृष्ण पाण्डु सुता प्रिया पैतृ स्वासेय प्रीतिर्थं तद्गोत्रस्य ता बान्धवा. Synonyms: api definitely.
Krishna Prabhuji,
Yes, ma'am.
you're not sharing the screen, Prabhuji. Thank
Oh,
you.
yes. Thank you, Madhuji. I thought I was. Let's do it again. Now it should, right? Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So synonyms: api definitely, me, unto me, Bhagwan, the personality of Godhead, Preetha, pleased, Krishna, the Lord, Pandu Sutta, the sons of King Pandu, Priya, dear, Paitri, in relation with the father, Swaseya, the sons of the sister, Preeti, satisfaction, Artham, in the matter of Tat, they are Gotrasya, of the descendant, Ata, accepted, Bandhava, as a friend. Yeah. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is very dear to the sons of King Pandu, has accepted me as one of those relatives just to please his great cousins and brothers. Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is very dear to the sons of King Pandu, has accepted me as one of those relatives just to please his great cousins and brothers. Purport: a pure and exclusive devotee of the Lord serves his family interest more dexterously than others who are attached to illusory family affairs. Generally, people are attached to family matters and the whole economic impetus of human society is moving under the influence of family affection. Such deluded persons have no information that one can render better service to the family by becoming a devotee of the Lord. The Lord gives special protection to the family members and descendants of a devotee, even though such members are themselves non-devotees. Maharaj Prahlad was a great devotee of the Lord, but his father Hiranyakashipu was a great atheist and declared enemy of the Lord. But despite all this, Hiranyakashipu was awarded salvation due to his being the father of Maharaj Prahlad. The Lord is so kind that he gives all protection to the family members of his devotees, and thus the devotee has no need to bother about his family members. Even if one leaves such family members aside to discharge devotional service, Maharaj Yudhishthira and his brothers were the sons of Kunti, the paternal aunt of Lord Krishna, and Maharaj Parikshit admits the patronage of Lord Krishna because of his being the only grandson of the great Pandavas. So interesting points here. Um, Somehow, I was recollecting um, from the past that um, whatever, whether it is Hollywood movies or Bollywood movies, um, most of them are centered around um, a hero and, you know, him taking care of his family. Um, Even if it's, some of the what is talked about at work, so just from that information, whatever recent movies like, aliens attacking or some kind of apocalypse happening, weather changing, climate changing, drastic situations, we see that there is a person, a hero, who tries to save his family in that situation, you know, and then everybody accolades him that, oh, such a great work of protecting your family. And what is shown in the movie in one sense is that, well, it doesn't matter if aliens destroy half of the continent, it's okay if your family is safe. That is one message. Right, so the hero is successful and everybody likes the movie because he's able to save his family. So this relationship with the family is something very inherent to all of us. We all like um, to associate with our family, and we care very dearly, and which should be, but in a more spiritual essence. Otherwise, caring just for family members based on the relationships that we have in this life is almost what any other species does. For example, um, way back, this is like somehow Krishna is giving the intelligence. Um, um, Elephants, elephants also live in families. And it is said that, obviously, the people who research on elephants, they say that um, the mother elephant, she is responsible to take care of her children and then her grandchildren and so on and so forth. And um, they sleep together, they frolic around and eat together, and if there is any danger, then also they are ready to sacrifice themselves to protect the herd. So here also we see that the inherent love and affection for family is there in the species also. Another example that comes to mind is um, that of lions. So lions, they are the king of the jungle, as it is said. But when they get old, like humans, their teeth also fall off, right? And so when their teeth fall off, obviously they cannot hunt. But then their children or their grandchildren, grand cubs, you should say, they bring them the food. So here also we see that, well, this is Father Lion. He helped, gave me food when I was a child. Now it's my turn to return, right? So this, we see this characteristic in the animal kingdom also. Um, so what should differentiate us? We should think about this. And what Prabhupada is exactly pointing out that here, that when we see our family in a spiritual connection, as these members are given to me by Krishna, and I'm supposed to take care of them as a service to Krishna. When we see, rather than, just having mundane relationships and based on what you can do for me and what I can do for you, if we can connect with our relatives in a way that takes them ahead in their spiritual journey and takes us ahead in their spiritual in our spiritual journey, then the whole essence of having relationships or being relationships is um, excellent, as depicted by Srila Prabhupada here. And the famous example that Srila Prabhupada gives is that of Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. And when Narsingadev killed Hiranyakashipu, he was very angry. Then Prahlad satisfied him. Then Narsingadev asks Prahlad that, oh Prahlad, I'm very pleased by you. Please ask a benediction. Please ask a boon. And what does Prahlad Maharaj ask? He says, My lord, my father has been very inimical to you, so if you can please forgive him. And then the Lord answers, in relation to that question, the Lord answers that, My dear Prahlad, your father has already been taken care. Whoever Krishna kills, they get, they are liberated, right? And in this case also, it is said that Narsingh tells Prahlad Maharaj that your 21 generations, both side, father side and mother side, are delivered. Obviously, there is some time, but at least, they can, they are on the way to be liberated. So, along the lines, if we also become exemplary devotees in our service, in our mood to serve their lordships, then the Lord promises us that He will take care of our relatives as well. So, if we want the um, utmost happiness of our relatives, then we should work in this direction of, first of all, us being good and exemplary devotees, and then trying to connect our relatives to the path of devotion. Irrespective, if they take up or um, don't take up, they are eventually going to be helped by the Lord to come to the path of devotional service. Um, Gaurang Prabhu gives this example, when he was joining brahmachari ashram back in the day, there was opposition. His parents were like, no, you should not. There was a whole congregation meeting at his home. Uncles, dad's brothers, mother's brothers, everybody came and they were like trying to tell him, hey, this is not the age, you shouldn't leave home and, you know, become a full-time brahmachari. But then, they accepted it. And it so happened that he organized a um, discourse on Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita in his house. And then somehow there was this topic. Obviously, someone else gave that lecture, and in that lecture, it was said that um, if we become devotees, our relatives are also liberated, right? Like Nursing Dev is saying here, 21 generations. So when Gaurang Prabhu's uncle heard this, he was ecstatic. He said, My son, you are doing the best thing, so please don't leave this. um, so we see that um, our relatives may or may not understand what we are trying to do now. But if we slowly and steadily, obviously, no drastic steps, no heavy preaching at home, specifically, the preaching at home or very dear ones should be done by somebody else. Um, for example, I wouldn't preach to my parents because they are very familiar to me. Obviously, you tell them, but the kind of preaching that we do with someone who comes in the temple, that shouldn't be you to your parents or someone, your siblings. Um, it could be your spouse, it could be somebody else, it could be your Shiksha Guru, but somebody else apart from you. Because when you try to do that, they have already seen you grow, they have seen your pitfalls, your mistakes, where you're vulnerable, and then there is a familiarity there. And that's why they may not take the message seriously. So it's kind of suggested that if you're preaching to near and dear ones, let that be done by somebody else, not by you. Okay, and towards the end of the paragraph, we see that um, Parikshit Maharaj here is acknowledging that this relationship that Krishna had with his um, great grandmother Kunti Devi, um, was something of a boon, right? And here he explains, if you look at the um, last line here. Maharaj Yudhishthira and his brothers were the sons of Kundi and paternal aunt of Lord Krishna. And Maharaj Parikshit admits the patronage of Lord Krishna because of his being the only grandson of the great Pandavas. So here, we see the mood of Parikshit Maharaj. Although he is such a great descendant, he is in a humble mood trying to acknowledge this. Yes, that just because, I had great ancestors, I was able to be in the association of Krishna. Um, okay, we'll see the next verse as well. अन्यथा ते व्यक्तगते दर्शनं न कथं नृणां नितरां म्रियमाणानां संसिद्धस्य वाणीयसा. Translation: otherwise, without being inspired by Lord Krishna, how is it that you have voluntarily appeared here, though you are moving incognito to the common man and are not visible to us who are on the verge of death? Purport: the great sage Sukadeva Goswami was certainly inspired by Lord Krishna to appear voluntarily before Maharaj Parikshit, the great devotee of the Lord, just to give him the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. One can achieve the nucleus of the devotional service of the Lord by the mercy of the spiritual master and the personality of Godhead. The spiritual master is the manifested representative of the Lord to help one achieve ultimate success. As we all know, Sukadeva Goswami was in the womb of his mother and father Vyasdev for 14 years, and he was not ready to come out. Only, and it is said that he was already self-realized in the womb itself. So Vyasdev said, "My dear son, it's time you should come out. Lord's plan has to go on, and there is much more service for you here." But Parikshit Maharaj says, "No, I'll not come out." Sorry, Sukadeva Goswami says that I will not come out. And the reason is, the moment I come out, Maya will catch hold of me. This illusory potency of the Lord will catch hold of me. Now, if a self-realized soul like Sukadeva Goswami can say that he is fearful of Maya, just imagine how fearful we should be of Maya. And this is one of the points that Srila Prabhupada also pointed out, that he said, my disciples do not have a healthy fear of Maya. They take Maya very casually. But here we see that Sukadeva Goswami is taking Maya very seriously, right? So then what does Sukadeva Goswami says? He says to his father Vyasadeva that, my dear father, first you go and get Krishna himself and let Krishna guarantee that when I come out, I will not be bound by his illusory potency. Similar to, in our lives also, it is said that in the third canto, it is mentioned, third or fifth, I think, it is mentioned that when a soul is in the womb, all the gastric enzymes, the worms, they're troubling the child. And in that mood, the child prays to Krishna that, my Lord, please save me from this situation. And when I come out, I will definitely become your devotee. I'll definitely do devotional service, right? Um, this is what the soul in the womb promises Krishna. And over a period of time, by nature, the child then comes out. And as soon as the child comes out, what happens? He's captured by Maya. People around him, they give different names. Uh, you know, uh, my child, so and so, my dear, this and that. So many affectionate names, and the soul starts thinking that, oh, I am this, I am Bablu, or I'm Paplu, or I'm this and I'm that. and he forgets his promise that he gave to Krishna, right? And that begins the start of us being bound to the illusory potency of Krishna. And then it's just exponential, especially in these days with mobile phones and so many other weapons of mass distraction. It is very easy to be illusioned by Maya. But here, Sukdev Goswami says, first, my dear father, go and get Krishna, and when only Krishna guarantees me that I will not be bound, then I'll come out. And actually, he does that. Krishna actually comes and assures him that when you come out, be rest assured that you will still be liberated, and my illusory potency will not cover you. And what happens? Sukadeva Goswami comes out of the womb, and then there is no naming ceremony, bathing ceremony, no ceremony. He just walks out of the home directly and walks out, and we know the pastime. He goes, and he's naked, obviously, right? He starts walking, he's going here and there. People are noticing him. Uh, um, and then finally he reaches to this assembly wherein Parikshit Maharaj and all the other sages are waiting. So we all should have a healthy fear of Maya. Actually, I was listening to a class by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, and he says, in our current condition, Maya doesn't even take us to be like an opponent. She thinks we are not even worthy of Maya's attention as of now. And the reason, she says, this Kali Yuga people are already overwhelmed by their own mind. So why do I have to interfere? So we are not at all a competition for um, Maya Devi as of now. But when you start doing devotional service seriously, when you chant japa early in the morning, when you are trying to follow four regulative principles, when you are trying to push yourself in devotional service, then Maya says, "Oh, seems like I'm getting a challenger. Let's see what this one is made of," right? And then she starts even thinking to take us seriously. But as of now, most of the people in this world, she never uh, tries to do anything because we all are troubled by our minds itself. It is said that in the coming years, one in five, the statistics say that one in five uh, persons or people in the US will have some sort of mental disease, whether it's depression, anxiety, stress, um, OCD, whatever. They'll have one of these. And then the cure or the um, amount spent on mental rehabilitation or mental consultations will gradually increase uh, to such an statistic that will exceed even other type of ailments, like fracture hand or whatever that may be. So that will exceed, mental diseases will exceed in the coming years than anything else. So this tells us that um, what Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita actually. Um, I think it is 6.6. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmavatmanachada anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmava shatruvat means for a person, the mind is the best friend and the worst enemy. If the mind is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, then the mind is the best friend. However, if it is not engaged in the service of the Lord and is engaged in anything except the service of the Lord, then the mind is the worst enemy. And we see so many examples, Duryodhan, Dhritarashtra, so many examples that what happens when the mind is not controlled, right? And here we see that um, 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 the the whole, whatever spiritual practices that are given to us by acharyas are first to make the mind steady. Because with a disturbed mind, it's really hard to even chant japa or do any other service. Um, and a byproduct of doing good japa is that, you can control the mind. And then once mind is controlled, you can then control the senses. So it's top-down approach in that sense, right? And um, once we start doing that, then we start becoming a contender for Maya's attention, right? Okay, we'll read the purport further. The spiritual master is the manifested representative of the Lord to help one achieve ultimate success. One who is not authorized by the Lord cannot become a spiritual master. Srila Sukdev Goswami is an authorized spiritual master, and thus he was inspired by the Lord to appear before Maharaj Parikshit and instruct him in the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. One can achieve the ultimate success of going back to Godhead if he is favored by the Lord's sending his true representative. As soon as a true representative of the Lord is met by a devotee of the Lord, the devotee is assured a guarantee for going back to Godhead just after leaving the present body. As you know, it is famously said that by the mercy of Krishna or Paramatma, we find Guru, and then by the mercy of Guru, we find Krishna, right? So this is what, if you, we can summarize the first part of this purport by this saying, and it is very true in our lives too. So when you um, show your inclination towards Krishna, then Krishna guides you to a bona fide spiritual master. If if again, if you take a step back and think about it, um, in India there are so many gurus, this and that, and many people have their own gurus. But Srila Prabhupada gives this example that um, guru shouldn't be something that you hang his picture in the home and that's about it. It's not like, this is my TV, this is my um, couch, this is my bed, and this is my guru. No, it's not that. So when the real essence of guru is when you start following his instructions, and that opens the door of, as they famously say, that opens Jai Shri Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Shri Navdeep Singh Bhagwan ki Jai, Shri Lakshmi Prabhu ki Jai. And when we take these instructions carefully, then our door to the spiritual kingdom of God are open. Or in sense, then we start to know about Krishna, and then we find Krishna, right? So first, by the mercy of Krishna, we find Guru, and then by the mercy of Guru, we find Krishna. The spiritual master is the manifested representative of the Lord to help one achieve ultimate success. Okay. One who is not authorized by the Lord cannot become a spiritual master. Sukadeva Goswami is an authorized spiritual master, and thus he was inspired by the Lord to appear before Parikshit and instruct him in the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. One can achieve the ultimate success of going back to Godhead if he is favored by the Lord sending his true representative. As soon as a true representative of the Lord is met by a devotee of the Lord, the devotee is assured a guarantee for going back to Godhead just after leaving the present body. This, however, depends on the sincerity of the devotee himself. The Lord is seated in the heart of all living beings, and thus he knows very well the movements of all individual persons. As soon as the Lord finds that a particular soul is very eager to go back to Godhead, the Lord at once sends his bona fide representative. The sincere devotee is thus assured by the Lord of going back to Godhead. The conclusion is that to get the assistance and help of a bona fide spiritual master means to receive the direct help of the Lord Himself. And Srila Prabhupada puts this in uh, emphasis, it's in italics. So, whenever we, and that's the reason it is said that one should treat a spiritual master on the same platform that one um, treats the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Um, and we should be careful in our interaction with the Guru not to commit any offense, as the 10 offenses, the third offense points out that. But overall, in summary, we can say that um, our spiritual master holds the key to our not only connection with Krishna, but us um, taking this journey from being a conditioned soul to being a liberated soul. And when we put efforts in this direction, this empowered entity which comes in our life as spiritual master um, is coming only by the mercy of Krishna himself. Just because Krishna, it is said that we have no idea how much Krishna wants us to be in the spiritual world than what we might think. We all are aspiring in our own ways to do service and, you know, uh, make our way to go to the spiritual world. But Krishna is more eager than us to get us back to spiritual world. And the story that comes to mind, I'll end it in 1 minute here. The story that comes to mind is of Gopakumar from uh, Bhagavatamrita. Um, and there, this Gopakumar, he is a soul. He's traveling uh, through the different planets. He goes to Vaikuntha. He's not satisfied there because he's in a uh, Gopa relationship with Krishna. So finally he goes to Golok Vrindavan, and when he appears, Krishna is coming with cowherd boys. These cows are coming with him, and then when he sees Gopakumar, Krishna starts running towards Gopakumar, and Gopakumar starts running toward Krishna, and they embrace. And after embracing, Krishna falls unconscious. Right, in an ecstasy to meet this soul, Krishna falls unconscious. And the gopis, the cows, they all are wondering, hey, what's happening? Who is this new person and why is Krishna fainting? And further, it is described that um, Krishna and Gopakumar, they again regain consciousness. And Krishna, seeing Gopakumar again, profusely, Krishna is crying, Gopakumar is crying, and they both faint again. And again, they come back to consciousness, they hug each other, and Krishna says, I've been waiting for you so long. I totally know what all hardships you have gone in the various lives you have taken. And I was waiting for you. I have been with you in all those lives, and I've been waiting for you to come to me. And today is the day that you have come to me, and I'm very happy. Saying this, both of them are, in ecstasy. They are crying and they're falling unconscious. They're crying and they're falling unconscious, and they're coming back to consciousness. So just imagine if Krishna is, um, the way Krishna is receiving this devotee is also open to all of us. We all can be Gopakumar if we strive in our spiritual practices sincerely. And then Krishna will welcome us in a similar way because he is waiting for us more eagerly than even what we want, than we are eager to go back. Okay, I think I went over time, but any questions or comments? Otherwise, we can stop here. Vanchakalpataroਭ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुपदेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, we'll end it on Zoom. Hare Krishna.